Hello and welcome to the DentisTV episode filmed at the Dentistry Show 2012. We're here at the NEC in Birmingham and I'm going to be interviewing speakers, exhibitors and delegates. I hope you enjoy the show. Al, you've just attended your first, is it your first dentistry show in the UK? How have you found it so far?
It's been great. It's my first dentistry show, my first full day doing a dental show in Britain. It's been better than I thought. Okay. Fantastic, great people, great atmosphere, great vibe. Really, really happy.
Okay, and in terms of how this compares with shows in Canada that you go to for dentistry, how is the dentistry show different?
Well, to be frankly honest, I've not attended many shows lately because I never found things changing much. And it's nice to actually be back in this environment and see what's happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've enjoyed it. Even walking around and getting exposure to what else people are doing and some of the newest and greatest. So that's been good too. Yeah. As a practicing dentist, it helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And in terms of the first full day done, have there been any highlights for you that have stood out?
The highlights are, for me, the enthusiasm we've been able to generate by offering people a solution without corporation. By saying, we're trying to engage on a different level of participation, and that's really exciting people because they know they can be a part of the whole process.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's been the best part.
And you've got another day ahead tomorrow. What do you look forward to?
More of the same or more of the same and better.
Fantastic. And if anyone wants to know a bit about Dr Al Kwong Hing Group, how would you describe it in a nutshell?
It's all about the people. Our patients, our teams, and making everyone get what they need, and then the rest of it takes care of itself.
Fantastic. Oh, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Louise, you've been here with Heart Your Smile exhibiting at the Dentistry Show. Tell me a bit about how yesterday went.
Well, yesterday was a little bit quiet, but what we did have was people who've already heard of us through our Twitter campaign, through our Facebook campaign. We also have the website running. And then when we had those people around and we got them to sign up on the wall, okay, and we were tweeting with pictures of them in front of our giant heart. Okay. And we're just, we had really good positive feedback from it. And then some people were saying, it's a really good thing, keep doing it, we support you. Okay,
and so for people who are watching this, can you explain a little bit about what Heart Your Smile is about?
Yes. Myself, a student, we have some students helping us. Mm-hmm. It's set up by some dentists, Seema Sharma, James Gilnick. Mm-hmm. We have backup from companies as well. And all it is we want to raise the profile of dentistry, okay, to diminish the negativity towards it. Mm-hmm. And yes, there may be some individuals that let the side down, but as a general, we want the public to think it's not that bad going to the dentist. My dentist is here to help me. The team, the hygienist, we want them to want to keep coming. And the whole aim is if we get the backup from the dental professionals to say, we're going to help when you do your national public campaign, mm-hmm, that we're going to have that backup and that we can just spread positivity. Just little things like sharing how your team works well to we had an increase in attendance this month. This is what we've been doing for Christmas. This is what we've been doing for Easter. Just little things, just tweeting, sharing it, and then we're hoping that it will snowball. Yeah. So essentially, it's about raising confidence within the profession, that people feel pride to be a dentist, to be a dental nurse, to be a hygienist.
Howard, you've just done quite a roaring speech, very controversial in some points. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what you mentioned and why you decided to speak about this?
You know, for me, dentistry is a sacred, sovereign profession. We're not selling shoes. We're not selling radios and phones. I mean, it's dentistry. When women lose all their teeth, they cry. They're depressed. It's sad. It's about health. And dentists don't see it as health. They see it as that they're victims of the NHS, and they got to do whatever the NHS says. They can only charge what the NHS says, all this stuff. Well, the NHS doesn't do that with your car or your house or your iPhone. If the NHS was in charge of phones, you'd probably have a carrier pigeon, okay? And business is simple. Business is about people, time, and money. And you make something, sell something, watch the numbers. And what I want these dentists to do is take back their profession and realize that keeping all your teeth, what would you do if you lost all your teeth?
I would cry.
What if you lost all your hair like me and your teeth? You'd probably go kill yourself. Yeah, so why don't people understand that, dentistry is sacred? Take it back. Let the NHS have the phones. Give the government their cars or their housing or the food, okay? But take back dentistry, because when in America, 30% of Americans lose all their teeth by 65, another 30% lose half, and they're depressed, and they cry, and they're sad. And I don't like business models where the government sets low fees and you see 5 people an hour. No. When I understood dentistry, I never had another cavity since. I'm 50 years old. I never had a cavity since I was 18. Some dentist slowed down, and he motivated me, and he educated me. I brush and floss every morning. I brush and floss every night. I don't drink Dr. Pepper and Coke and Pepsi, and I'll have all my teeth when I'm 100. And we do that in my dental practice, and we make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And dentistry is a profession worth fighting for, and I'm over here fighting for the sacred, sovereign profession of dentistry.
And in terms of saying these things, what was the response from the
I think the response is they totally believe me and get it. It's just, how do you get from an insurance-driven government NHS model to doing the type of quality dentistry that the British people deserve?
Yeah. And what inspires you in dentistry? You're clearly a very passionate person. What makes you get up every day and do dentistry?
You know what? It's very personal for me. My mother lost all of her teeth as a very young child. Her entire childhood was marred with dental pain, psychological embarrassment of losing her teeth. It drove her almost to killing herself. It really did. It almost had. When I was a little kid, my mother drugged me to the office every 6 months, and it was like the most important thing to her. And when I was a little kid, I realized this is really important. And she didn't talk that way about the guy who sold us the car, the real estate agent that sold us the house, the grocery man, the meat man, the bread man. But she thought the dentist was sacred. And she also thought losing her teeth was the worst part of her life.
Yeah.
And so I made teeth a mission. And I'm glad I signed up for it. I've been doing it since 1987. I love it. And there's nothing better than giving someone a smile makeover and knowing that you can restore their teeth and they can have them when they're 100 years old, as opposed to just, get a cavity and pulling it or doing some crappy amalgam or just crap, blah, blah, blah. And, and you're not how many pairs of shoes do you own personally? Seriously.
I can't say.
You can't say? Too many to count? Well, we got to get all the British women that want to buy less shoes and more teeth. We don't want British women to be missing half their back teeth and getting crappy dentistry and then go buy 20 new pairs of shoes.
Yeah,
we need to bring back dentistry. Health is more important than wealth. Mental health is more important than oral health. And if you lose your oral health, they lose their mental health.
Yeah.
They're not going to be happy buying new shoes and a new car when they can't eat their food, and they're psychologically embarrassed, and they're covering their mouth every time they laugh.
Hamel, you've just been speaking this morning at the hygiene and dental therapy track to the audience. Do you want to tell me a little bit about what you spoke about in your presentation?
Yeah, sure. My focus this morning was to talk about current recommendations on hand hygiene protocols and the guidelines surrounding personal protective equipment. So every profession has personal protective equipment guidelines, but in dentistry it's the kind of gloves that people wear when they wear them, when they remove them, eye protection, masks, their surgery uniforms. So we were looking at situations like when is it acceptable to wear a uniform, when is it acceptable not to wear it. There's a set of guidelines known as HTM 0105. Everybody in dentistry knows exactly what that document is. And it's not the easiest read, I feel. The aim of the presentation is to help individuals just know exactly what it's saying and clear up any confusion really over what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, what conforms to standard basically.
Okay. So when it comes to infection control, as you say, there's always this gap between the theory and how people actually do it in practice. Did your talk highlight any of these disparities that some of your audience might be experiencing?
Mainly kind of slight variations in sometimes the document isn't overly clear whether you have to do this if you're doing this, or it's not black. A situation can never be black or white. Sometimes common sense or hopefully most of the time, common sense comes into things, and it can be hard to always be certain, is this right, is that wrong? And yeah, there was obviously, from the response I got, there was certain areas where people were a little bit uncertain, and unless it's in black and white, I guess it's always someone's opinion.
Absolutely.
So it's just reminding everybody really that everything is about self-preservation, ensuring they're safe while they're working, and that they're comfortable as well, that it's actually possible to do what's being asked.
Yeah.
And
So,
realistic.
in terms of any hygienists or therapists who are watching this, or even nurses, what would you say to them about having to understand how HTM-105 is applied, and just general infection control principles? Do you have any tips or advice for them?
Well, I think reading a big document like that can be hard work, can be tedious. There is one of the things I always suggest is that you use if you download the document, save it onto a desktop, use the search bar and type in keywords. And if you're looking at the audit tool, the IPS, Infection Prevention Society audit tool that accompanies the guidance, then there's any questions that are asked specifically about any topic, they give the reference point for 0105, and I think that really helps you to look through the document. Otherwise, I tell practices to ring me because I only ever deal with the subject.
Thank you for watching Dentist TV, which has been filmed by the crew of JSP Media Group. For more episodes of Dentist TV, have a look on our YouTube channel.